Hi class, you see that I've got a picture of a pelican open on my desktop, and I'm going to be showing you how to take a photograph and transfer it to an 8.5 by 11 piece of watercolor paper. This is a complicated photo. Even though you could freehand it, you may choose to have it more complicated by using the transfer method. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do that. I am open in Photoshop's Element. I have an older version of it. Every one of you may have a different photo editing program. And if you have Microsoft, or if you're using a PC, you will have, by default, the Paint program. That will do this. If you're on a Mac, it's got its own editing program. If you're a little bit more sophisticated, you probably have a photo editor or a photo editing program. So I've got mine in Elements. I really like it, and it's easier for me than using a full-blown Photoshop. So let's go from here. I've opened my photograph. The image size, if I go to image size, is 7 by 10, and it's obviously, it was 72 DPI. It's a web photo, and that's fine. I don't need a large photograph for what I'm doing. Now, I'll go back to where I was. I shouldn't have come out there. And my paper is 8.5 by 11. So I want my format to be 8.5 by 11. And that's as close as I'm going to get. I could do some cropping on it, and if I wanted a little bit less length to the photo, I could crop it. And that's closer. So that gives me 11 inches high by 7 3/4. Okay, now I'm going to take that picture and I'm going to go to File, Print, and it gives me good spacing in that. But if I wanted to move the picture around, I could click out of centering the image. And it's going to depend on your own software. You need to get to know that software. And you'll see a little, at least in my program, I see a little crosshair that I could move that around and change the position of my photograph on my paper. So I can move them up a little bit. And then at that point, I would go to the printer. Like you're going to print out a regular photograph. I've picked plain paper for this, which I'm just using a plain printer paper. Standard quality is fine. Make sure your printer paper size is 8.5 by 11. And then you go ahead and print it. And at that point, then you would take it and then do the carbon transfer method, which is documented in another video. So let's review what I have. You go to your photograph, you size it to an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. You make sure it's not centered because it'll stop you from moving your image around. Then you move your image to where you want it and print. Okay, that's it. See you in another video.